And it also has a HDMI output, for you could put it in HDMI and watch the videos either your laptop or your television, whichever one you choose, laptop or television. It's up to you, but that's what it's basically there for. Now, back to these doors. Just be very cautious with these doors, opening and closing them. I'm very cautious with my X35 because it feels so cheap and fragile that I'm very cautious with it. But this one, I would have to say that, yeah, I would be very cautious with this one too. Don't try to rush to close the door. Make sure that it's closed and curved in real nice. And, you don't want no water going in there. Like I said, this camera could go underneath the water by itself. And then if you want to go any deeper, you would have to use this housing and go deeper, like for scuba diving and stuff like that. It records at 4K, if I'm not mistaken, 30 and 60 frames per second. It does the 1080p, 1440. It does all those good stuff. But it feels so good, and then there's like, the material doesn't feel cheap. Like, it feels so good. Like, I don't even want to, when I go outside and use this camera, I'm going to be very cautious with it because it looks like it feels so nice. And all the reviews on this camera seems to be very good on Amazon. They're not crapping on this camera. It doesn't have any videos on YouTube. I seen one guy from Jersey, thanks to him, this does have a EIS, and it does have a super EIS, so it's kind of like, it's very steady when it comes down to like going over bumps and stuff like that. There's one guy in Jersey, he records his videos because he likes to use his cameras on his bike. So that was his main thing that he wanted to try out. How would it work when it came down to using the bike. This is the latch for the battery. So now we're here at the battery section, and you see that you could put the little SIM card stuff inside here, the battery inside there, which the battery seems to be, real nice. Put the battery in there, so I'm pretty sure now it'll be a little bit more weight on it. But once again, these doors. Now this door right here, it's not what you call it. It's not XTU. It's not a Castle Brave. It's actually looks a little bit more flimsier than those. And I'm not criticizing this camera. I haven't even used it yet. But for the most part, I can say that it looks like, a little bit like, Kelly, you got to be very careful with this door. I'm very careful with everything for the most part. I try to be cautious with the most, try to treat everything fairly equal. It's either expensive or cheap. I try to treat it the same. But, yeah, these little action cameras been having problem with these doors. Now, like I said, for over $100, I can't complain about the camera yet, but I can say that problems do happen with these little doors. They tend to break right here, and it's not really these models like this. It's more like the models that have like the closer curve round type of, like the V40s and the Picassos and stuff like that. They are very durable, but they tend to, I'm gonna get an XTU, so even XTU is having that problem too. But just be mindful that, if you're under the influence of alcohol or anything like that, just don't bother even trying to open this. Have somebody that's going to be very cautious with it, open it and close it for you. That way you could enjoy the most out of this camera. You might consider, oh well, it's only a cheap camera, I only paid 100